Yeah.
My name is Gray, by the way, and hello.
Hello, Gray. Nice to meet you.
Uh, all my ring lights died at once. That's like what
Hey,
we call the
that's
other nightmare of 2020.
uh-huh.
So I'm testing ring lights.
Lunch. Okay. You got one on right now? Looks good.
Thank you very much. In
Good.
fact, it is a double ring light.
Ooh, interesting. I've never heard of a double ring light.
I know it's like they've asked themselves the question, what is like the only thing better than a one ring light?
Double, yeah, of course. Everything.
Clearly.
Everything in doubles.
So hello, you know what Chick Fight totally reminded me of?
What?
I have a girlfriend that one time held her own fight club.
No way. That sounds amazing. Were
Yep,
you
and you
were you part of it or did you go watch or
hell no.
fair
like,
enough, fair enough.
like, look at me. There's nothing about this that fights for sure. And I mean,
It looks
it's
like you could bring it. You look like a pretty badass chick.
thank you.
Yeah,
Actually, yeah, I guess with a mohawk that is kind of like
yeah, it works.
uh right in the beginning of the film, I this comes rushing back to me, and as well as like my fear of being hit in the face, and like
Mhm.
I think the movie makes a great case for conquering that fear because the body's capable of amazing healing, etc.
It is. I mean, this is at its base, it's a comedy. Let's be honest, But I do love that there is something about like even on the days where we did all the stunts and we were in the ring and I'm fighting this Bella stunt double who's a world champion, and I'm just going, this is incredible, and to watch their power and their force and when you walk out from a day like that, you feel empowered and you feel like it's almost like meditative and cathartic and powerful all in one because you've gotten your aggression out. You also feel like you can take anyone on, but you can't. You got to be careful about that part. um, but it is, it's not quite the metaphor for life. I don't think you don't need to get in a ring and get your ass kicked, but I think that you need to be able to have an outlet to get your aggression out, or whatever is going on for you. It's just, I box in real life and it's my favorite thing to do. It just calms me.
I'm glad that you said that for everybody to hear because I was ready to champion the movie to be like, hey, watch this movie, then go punch somebody in the face.
Please don't do that. It's consensual in this film, all right? They're getting in the
Yep.
ring if they want to.
It was so mannerly. I love the relationships in the film that somehow this fight club is formed and nobody is taking it outside the ring, so to speak.
Yeah.
Um, it was super reasonable, but it also occurred to me that you guys filmed in Puerto Rico,
Yeah.
and I just want to pretend that Alec Baldwin was really training you in real life.
Sure. Yeah, you can pretend that all you want. Anyone can pretend that. I'd
Cool.
love for Alec Baldwin to be training me in real life.
I
He's
wondered, like, what do you think his strongest suit would be as a trainer if that happened to be true, which it's
Why would you say it's not? Look at him, like he's a full-on trainer. Um, I think his strongest suit would be, uh, gosh, as a trainer, I don't know, but maybe he brings some great levity to it, some comedy to make you feel like you got this. I think you need to be a good coach. I think you need to be have a sense of humor and have discipline. Make sure that whoever you're working with has discipline. So I think he'd be good at the comedy part.
nice. I agree with that completely. And also, like, maybe the drinking, which isn't to say anything about him, but I mean, just these days, like, I'm
I'm
like,
good.
woo, have a
Yeah, I'm good
cocktail.
at that too. I can definitely throw one back during coronavirus. I've been really good at that. Yeah, just to take
Um,
the edge off.
totally. And right off the bat in the beginning of the film, you are being led to a secret location. And it's very mysterious, and Dulce's like not telling you where you're going. And I was just wondering if that brings up any memories for you as to like a crazy place that you happen to end up without knowing you were going there to start with.
Um, the only thing I can think of that comes up right now is back in the day, in my teenage years, when raves were going on and you would have to meet at a special location and then get on a bus and it would take you to some random warehouse, then you'd walk in and be this whole other world that you walk into. That's the closest I can think of. That was a long time ago though.
It's funny. It seems every time I think of my own stories, I'm like, oh my God, was that me? Or was that like a whole different person?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And that's a good thing, I think, that we age out of certain things, and come across new things to entertain us.
Uh, I'm trying to, I think I went to one rave one time,
Mm-hmm.
and my friend generously brought a very good looking friend of his,
Huh.
and we danced all night. And my mom, like, I don't even know how I managed to pull that off, because like my parents were always knowing where I was at all times.
Oh, did you maybe say you were at a sleepover? I mean, I know that back then in my days, when I was a teenager, it was still in the days where you had payphones. There was no cell phones. So I would call my mom from a payphone and go, I'm just gonna stay at my friend's house tonight, and I'll call you in the morning. And then we'd drive an hour and a half out of town with a boyfriend of mine and go to a rave and dance all night.
Isn't it funny, like you end up on the other side of the equation just by aging, and you start to be horrified when you see, like, I feel like they're little babies that are doing stuff like that. And it's like, no, they're like 18 or whatever.
But I think I was 15 or 14. And I mean, like that, I think of my son, it's just a few years away. He's not
Oh,
going to any rave anytime soon.
right. The minute that you get like a text that's like, hey, I'm gonna stay over at Blank's house, you're like, no, you're not.
Well, now we have the cell phone, so I can follow him wherever he goes. So he's gonna have that on always.
Yes, technology wins again in the keeping of our children safe, let's call it that.
Sure, sure. Let's do it.
Yeah, right off the bat in this movie, I was so excited, Dulce, when you were taking Malin to like undisclosed location, pillowcases over her head.
Yes.
Took me back, I'll tell you what.
College, right?
Right. And I just wondered, let's start with you, Fortune. Like, where is the best unexpected place that you ever ended up on like a one crazy night? It doesn't have to involve a pillowcase, but I mean,
Oh my gosh. I lived in Spain for a year, and that was during I lived in Sevilla, and it was the Carnival. They had this big like outdoor thing in the south. We went on the train like an hour south of Sevilla, and my friends were like, we're gonna go to this Carnival party, and I had no idea what to expect. And it was like this entire town square had been taken over by people with drums and flamethrowers and dancing, and it was the craziest, coolest thing I'd ever experienced.
that's so fun. I only know like touristy Spanish, but it's come in handy more than once when I just say estoy borracha, like because I'm drunk is what that means.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a lot of places I wasn't supposed to be. So I'll say that my second week in New York, one of my friends here took me down to Chinatown to Wuhan, which is the Chinese restaurant Ghostbusters. And we go there and, we're just like, let's just walk around. Let's just walk around. And we turn the corner and the San Gennaro Festival is happening because Little Italy is like right next to Chinatown. And so we had like this amazing meal and and it's a whole festival. And then I watched my friend get conned at one of the games because he was one of you just roll the ball and it's just supposed to fall in a little hole. It's supposed to be super easy. And he wasted like $30. And me and my friend are standing going, it's a carnival game. They're robbing you. And he's like, no, I figured it out. So now me and the guy who's running the game, my other friend are just like, I'll let him give you all the money all night. But we were just out, and then we went to like, another place and hung out there. So it was just one of those nights where you're just bouncing around, just going different places.
You get so walloped in this movie.
Yeah.
And I found myself like really trying to figure out how much of it was you and how much of it might have been like a double. And I know you're probably talking a lot about this, but it's like, girl, you can take a punch. Like, yes.
Yeah, I mean, we made it look like I could take a punch. We always interchange, of course, ourselves with our stunt doubles. I didn't do any of the flying in the air where she lands on her back. That was always my stunt double. I wasn't too willing to do that. I think I would have broken my back. But so all of the complicated things that look like holy shit are usually my stunt double.
Awesome.
The rest, the easier stuff, like the punching and the ducking, that stuff I could do. Yeah.
What is it like having a stunt double? That's so cool.
It's amazing. It's inspiring. I mean, these women are for real. They are just incredible athletes. You know, they're so lovely and so sweet, so respectful and humble, and it feels great. I mean, you look at that and you go, wow, I'm so glad that that's my body up there, because that body looks great.
Right, like, because everyone's kind of a type, and then when you see your type as being like this amazing, powerful, incredible person, you're like, yes.
Yeah, and it was fun to have that arc where she starts off kind of just, you know, a deer in headlights to becoming this true fighter, and to watch that projection over the whole course of the film was really great.
That's actually something I found really relatable for my life as well. Like, just feeling a little bit like I had strayed from my path. Like, maybe I wasn't having as much fun doing what I had been doing, or things were going horribly wrong. The process of getting back to myself was long and like wrought with like insecurity, etc. Have you ever gone through something like that personally, and what was it that brought you back?
Oh gosh, I feel like it's consistently like that. I feel like it's an ebb and flow always in life. And there are situations that will knock you for six, you know, and then you just have to get back up on your feet. I think for me, it's always been sisterhood. It's been my friends. And to be able to have a good group of friends who I can lean into and be vulnerable with, and just be okay with being where I'm at for a moment. It's having that. It's the support always. You know, I went through a divorce and had just become a mom, and it was tough already to become a mom and then go through divorce. I mean, you know, it is what it is. It's life. That stuff happens. But I had such a good group of friends who were here to support, that it was almost like the bad and the good equal. They leveled each other out. So I was able to stay afloat.
And that also is something that's really reflected in the movie. And it's so nice to see that kind of network and that kind of support, and focused around a fight club. Like,
Yeah.
I'm so surprising. I was super into it, and it brought me a lot of, like, I was thinking, like, maybe during quarantine, hold on, the next thing I'll buy from Amazon will be like a punching bag. And my husband's like,
I highly recommend it.
Yeah,
I've got one hanging here at home for sure.
He goes, you do you. We'll find a place to put it. And I was like, that's a good answer.
Great answer. Can't wait to see your punching bag next time, hanging in the back.
This movie made me realize I've never been punched in the face for real. Have either of y'all?
Yes.
Not punched in the face. I've been punched in the stomach by my brothers. Once again, those buttholes.
And you have been?
Oh yeah, we got hit in the eye.
Christ.
Just in the face. I mean, right. I earned it the right way. So it wasn't confusing. I earned it the right way. So, I prefer you come and you're just like, oh yeah, I deserve that. Let me get my bag of peas. Let me go sit down.
And think about what I
prefer the pretend fighting.
Yeah, me too.
As do I.